Good morning, god damn it. Day 293. So, a case for leg extensions. I've been doing leg extensions only for about 2 or 3 months. My legs have grown about an inch and a half. They certainly work. A lot of people say they fluff and pump, they don't work. They do. Anything fucking works. Right? No exercise is inherently bad. Okay? If you progressively overload an exercise within close proximity to failure, your muscles responsible for that exercise are going to get bigger. Your quads don't give a fuck whether it's squats or leg extensions or leg press or anything particular. All your muscle fibers care about is mechanical tension. You don't create mechanical tension through higher loads. You create it by getting as much motor unit recruitment as possible or close to. And so, whether or not you do that with squats or leg extensions doesn't really make a huge deal of difference. However, the only downside to leg extensions is you don't train your rectus femoris as much. But then equally, in a squat, you don't train your vastus medialis as much because at the lockout of a squat, unless you're using band tension, which you should because that's cool, if you're not using band tension, the end range of a squat, you have the best mechanical leverage for force reduction, and thus you're not using as much musculature to end that range, right? So your VMO, the inner teardrop part of your fucking quadricep on a squat, is not getting as much hypertrophy as it would from a leg extension. So I'm only doing a leg extension as an experiment to prove that you can get big legs just doing fucking leg extensions. And and also, my knees are always fucked up from kickboxing, so squats just don't feel very good. So what's going to happen is my legs are going to continue growing, proving people wrong that say leg extensions don't do anything, and my vastus medialis, so many fucking words. My rectus femoris is probably not going to grow a whole of a lot, and that's fine. I'm more interested in the lower insertions, not so much the like upper hip insertion. And then basically at the end of my bulk, I'm going to do a squat and see. I'm not squatting at all right now. I'm going to see if my squat has progressively overloaded from just doing leg extensions and no other quad work. And I promise you that my squat will have improved from last time I did squats. I think last time I did squats, it was an abysmally shit 105 for like 8. Super deep range of motion, but my legs are just shit tier genetically. And my knees and shit were like, fuck this. My sciatica was really fucking around with it. I thought, all right, let me just do leg extensions. Oh, just to go back on that fucking dumbbell press I was just doing, I've started strapping weights to my wrists. So I've seen a lot of people use bands to wrap around the dumbbell so that you can add weights if you don't have any heavier. Because now I'm up to 42 kilos, but the dumbbells I use only got to 40. So I put straps around my wrists and put, 1.25 kilo dumbbells on a side. And that way you can micro load too. You don't have to do the 2.5 kilo jump. You can do a 1.25 kilo jump. And it felt all right. It felt a little bit iffy, a little bit less stable, but that's fine. But that's a really easy, quick way of adding weight is by just putting weights on the straps on your wrists. So I'll continue on that. It's going to be hard to do anything more than 5 kilos, but for now, it suffices for progressive overload. I fucking puked in my own mouth. I gotta stop eating pasta. I need to stop eating pasta because I'm fucking getting fat. Look how fucking fat I look. Oh man, I miss being lean. My jawline's kind of fucking off a little bit too. Oh man, I found a photo of my old man today, and his legs. I saw fucking his legs, and my legs are really skinny. Don't get me wrong. They won't be soon though. They are definitely growing more on leg extensions than they've ever grown on anything else because I can just be consistent with them. But fuck, he had some skinny legs. I might upload that. I'll get that photo somewhere and put it on the next video or whatever. Everyone can see how how fucking doomed I was from the beginning when it came to leg genetics or just about any genetics as far as anything goes. The guy, you just have one look at him and you're like, damn, his son's not going to be super jacked. I'm doing round spine deadlifts. So, don't know about the RDLs. The RDLs are feeling alright, but today I was just fucking tired as shit. And so I just decided to do the accessory here. I like these. These feel good. They look fucking disastrous, but they feel great. I don't have any sciatic pain or anything when I do these. So, yeah, maybe I just do these from now on. I tried to do a normal hip hinge deadlift there, but then not only did it fucking hurt, I caught myself midway and kept the spine round. But This is also definitely good for upper back thickness, getting that sort of the extensors of your thoracic spine more thick and jacked, because I can't really get those anywhere else because I can't really deadlift very well. Yeah, so basically right now the leg training consists of leg extensions, RDLs, these fucking things. I have a feeling the RDL's gonna have to fucking can it again because my sciatic nerve pain's coming back a bit, and I think it's probably because of the fucking RDLs. Because after I do these, no back pain. I didn't have any sciatic nerve problems, but after doing RDLs a couple days ago or whatever, the next day I was fucked up. Like, could barely walk. So I don't think the RDLs are going to stay for much longer. Every fucking few years, I spend a couple months progressing my deadlifts. I'll get my, deadlift to like 220 kilos or whatever, and then my back is royally fucked, and then I have to quit deadlifting again for a few years, and then I try to do it again, and it gets up to like 200 to 220, and then I quit again. It's just I could probably be a fucking pretty good deadlifter by now if it wasn't for my fucked up back, but whatever, who gives a shit. I'll continue doing these though, these are good. So I stopped the workout. This is the beauty of having home gym. Sometimes you just, after those round back deadlifts, I was really fucking tired, and there was no chance in hell was I going to put much effort into my arm training. So I just took 5 hours and then came back into the gym later and finished off my accessories in my arms. And that's a really good way of training if you've got a home gym, or you can be bothered driving to the gym or whatever. But especially if you have a home gym, split your workouts in two if you're doing full body, because after you do your heavy compounds, especially if you're doing legs with your upper body, you'd be fucked up. And by the end, when you want to do, your side laterals and your biceps, or God forbid you do forearms and calves on top of all that shit, which I don't, good luck. Because I used to do that shit when I was like a teenager. I would do like fucking 2-hour long sessions because I was doing high volume, and I would finish my workouts with accessories like forearms, neck, fucking all that shit, and you're not putting any effort into that shit by the end of a hard full body session. So you're better off splitting the workout out, and especially if you're doing like forearms and shit, just do forearms and neck in between sets, or get your forearm and calves and do it on a separate day, because if you're doing your entire literally full body in one day, you're gonna fuck your shit up. You're gonna be overtrained, and those accessories are never really gonna grow because you can't put much into them, and they're not gonna progressively overload. My calves and my forearms and my neck, not so much my neck because I can superset that with other stuff, but forearms and calves in particular started really growing once I started doing them on separate days to the rest of my body, because otherwise it's just excessive. You can probably get away with training neck, do some neck curls in between a set of rows or whatever, especially because you only really need to do one set of extensions and inflection. But with forearms, especially if you're into, really maximizing your potential, you got to do flexion, extension, pronation, and then if you're into arm wrestling like I am, you got to do other shit. And so that's like 6 or 7 exercises, 2 sets per exercise, 14 sets on top of your full body workout. Like, dude, that's just not going to happen. You're never going to get forearms that way. So start putting your forearms and your calves and your abs on a separate accessory day with like cool things that you should be training too, like hip flexors and rotator cuffs and stuff. Like, especially if you're into kickboxing or boxing even, but especially if you're into kickboxing, you should be training your fucking adductors, your abductors, and your hip flexors, because they're really responsible for internal rotation and hip flexion, obviously, into your kicks. That was one of the things I've done to have like really fucking powerful roundhouse kicks, even though my technique's not perfect. People will hold pads for my kicks and like, fuck, cunt, like your legs must be heaps strong. I'm like, dude, I can't even squat 100 kilos. I'm pathetic. But my hip flexors, which is what really drives the power through a roundhouse, are mad strong from training them on accessory days. So that's another thing. Anyway, fuck, peace out, bye.